Welcome back to Bakes on Things. Home Alone, Bakes Lost in New York. This is our holiday special series from New York City. I'm here at Shakespeare in the Park. It's pretty awesome. I am in Central Park right now, and there are a lot of people walking around. People are absolutely happy and ready into the holiday season, ready for the holiday season. And we're going to head to the Plaza Hotel today. We are going to head to Saks Fifth Avenue. We're going to head to the rink because, hey, these are places that are in holiday movies. So it's the holidays, we got to be there. Childhood memories, right? And everything that we ever imagined New York City to be, it is. Despite the cold, despite the cost of living, despite all the challenges America faces themselves, this place is alive today. Families are skating. We've got kids laughing. People are lined up playing in the park. They're lined up outside Saks Fifth Avenue, as you'll see. They're lined up at the rink. They're doing things. They're busy. It's awesome. The plaza is here. And every single person that I've met since arriving here has been unbelievably kind. And I have to be honest with you, standing here, I'm hit with something I didn't really think I would be. I didn't expect to feel this strongly, and that is that the American dream here in the US is still very much alive. It may be dented, it may be tested, it may be more expensive than ever, but it is absolutely alive. And the thing about this is that the painful comparison when you make it to Canada, the one we need to talk about today, is not between America and perfection itself. It's between America and the country we love, a country where the dream is slipping away, where the spirit is dimming, where the mood is heavy, and where the cold doesn't just bite your face, it bites your hope. So in this episode of Home Alone, Canada versus America in New York City, and today we're going to talk about why the American dream is still beating in the heart of the cold December here in New York, while the Canadian dream feels like it's freezing over.
Welcome to Bakes on Things.
Central Park in December isn't just a park, it's a metaphor for possibility. It's a place where people from basically every single background and all over the world, families, couples, tourists, locals, show up to be part of something bigger and something way bigger than themselves. Just look around. That's all you have to do. Look around here and you can see there's people walking through the park. People skating even though it's cold on their faces, people laughing even though life is expensive, people lining up at iconic holiday spots like Saks Fifth Avenue, which you'll see shortly, and FAO Schwartz, people saying happy holidays and Merry Christmas and enjoy your visit, even though they don't know who I am. They should care less who I am, but yet they're joyful. Here's the key difference. Americans still see each other as part of the same story. Canadians, well, most days it feels like we're isolated characters in stories that no longer overlap anymore. Canada's dream hasn't died, but it's fading fast and strangled by affordability crises and pessimism and government overreach, collapses in services, and a national mood that feels more like a sigh than a cheer. Let's address something up front here. Yes, America is expensive. Yes, inflation hit here too. Yes, New York costs more than Toronto, more than Vancouver, more than most North American cities. We know all of this. And yet, none of that has killed the spirit here. We've got horse drawn buggies, we've got skating. Hey, why? Because the American dream was never about affordability alone. That's what you know when you come here. It was about possibility, it was about ambition, it was about the belief that you can climb even if it's hard. And we need to have this back in Canada as well. Americans still believe all of that. They still are out here pushing and making sure that they have fun and a good time and they're with their families. You can see it in the faces of the families out here. You can hear it in the laughter of the parents pushing their kids across the pathways, and you can feel it in the numb of the energy of Fifth Avenue when you walk along it. It's all here. The holiday lights, everything wrapped around every post and tree. The American dream is not dead because Americans refuse to let it die. And that's the key. Contrast that with Canada, where it feels like every time Canadians try to dream, our government hands them a pamphlet explaining why dreaming is problematic for you. You shouldn't do it. It's probably going to offend somebody. God forbid you get a promotion. Now you're too high up. In America, ambition is encouraged. In Canada, ambition is check your privilege at the door. In America, you're told to shoot for the stars, but in Canada, you're told to shoot for moderation. You're told to shoot for the middle class. In America, the dream is a ladder. You get to climb it. In Canada, the dream has become a line that you wait in, hoping someone in Ottawa approves your turn. Now, let's talk about the rink behind me, because this is where the symbolism hits the hardest, doesn't it? This is the rink from Home Alone. Here in New York, you see hundreds of people skating. It's hard to see through that fence, but wow, is that crazy? Parents renting skates for their kids, couples taking photos, groups of teenagers doing circles they'll remember forever. Even if money is tight, even if the work week was hard, even if inflation hurts, people show up here. People show up to be at the rink because this is part of the American spirit. You live, you participate, you get involved. You do not let reality steal your joy away from you, especially around the holidays. Now imagine this scene in Canada, except you can't really because the outdoor rinks across the country, families are missing out on a lot of this. Families are missing out on basic winter traditions because they can't afford the equipment to go along with them. Public skating in Canada used to be one of the biggest staples of every single Canadian winter, the most accessible thing in the world for us. Everyone could do it. Nobody was priced out of it. And yet today in Canada, hundreds of dollars on skates, a country built on winter, can't even afford them now. Kids can't skate because they can't afford skates. Families can't participate because inflation wiped out their disposable income. People aren't entering rinks like this because they're entering survival mode. And that's the scariest part of all. And this is the brutal truth. When families stop participating in traditions, a country loses its spirit. You can see behind me, America still participates. Canada is shutting down. And how sad is that? Something I didn't expect, but really felt here is how genuinely nice and friendly people are in New York. Every time I pulled out a map, someone asked if I needed help. And every time I mentioned I was visiting from Canada, people smiled. Every store clerk wished me a great day. People offered sort of directions and held doors and joked around, much like you'd expect to happen in our own country. But if you ask yourself, why does New York, one of the busiest and most expensive cities in the world, somehow feel more warm than the average Canadian city right now? Well, it's not because Americans are naturally friendlier. It's because they're not being crushed. They're not being crushed under the weight of policy induced homelessness and cultural exhaustion. That's why Americans are happier right now. It's not just the economy. The economy's still recovering down here, but it's the American dream. Canadians are overwhelmed. Canadians are tired. Canadians are being asked to carry burdens they didn't create for themselves. It was created by their own government and their own leadership over a decade. And while they're carrying all of that, the government lectures them about language, behavior, and thought conformity in our country. Wokeism. A country loses its friendliness when it loses its hope. And that's the truth. Americans, even in difficult times, haven't lost theirs. But Canadians, you can see it every single day. We're losing it more and more. Not because we want to, but because we're being pushed toward it. Yesterday, we got the chance to look down Fifth Avenue, and we saw the Saks Fifth Avenue holiday windows, the giant trees around, the street vendors selling hot dogs and hot chocolate, crowds taking photos of decorations, people laughing so loudly I had to voice over half the episode because it was ruining my sound. It was -2 weather, but they were treating it like it was spring break. They love Christmas here. The cost of living hasn't killed America's holiday spirit, but in Canada, the holidays are feeling more muted these days. Not because Canadians don't love the season, we absolutely do, but because when you're worried about paying rent, buying groceries, handling taxes, and surviving the winter heating bills that are ahead, the magic kind of gets pushed aside. People in Canada aren't decorating. And they're doing that because they're depressed. They're not shopping because they're basically stretched completely thin. They're not skating because they can't afford the equipment that goes along with the skating outing. They're not planning because they don't know what new cost is coming next in our country. The American dream fuels holiday spirit. The Canadian dream, or what is left of it anyway, is suffocated by financial anxiety in everybody's household. The difference you feel walking through this part of New York is not money, it's just optimism. Walk through Central Park and it's all you see are people bouncing around, skipping, talking, laughing. They're excited. They're excited for the holidays. They're wishing each other Merry Christmas. And it's not because they all have money, it's because the American dream is still alive. And here's the heartbreaking truth: Canada's dream hasn't disappeared. It's just been buried under government policies, particularly liberal, that make daily life harder, not easier. The Canadian dream used to be a lot of things. Pierre Poilievre has said it: hard work, a home, a family, a stable job, a safe community to live in, a hopeful future. Now, it's stress, it's inflation, it's taxes, it's regulations, it's transition plans nobody understands, it's the loss of joy in things as simple as skating. The Canadian dream is still inside of each and every one of us. It's still in our DNA. It's still in our hearts. But it's disappearing from our reality and disappearing fast. And that should scare the hell out of every single one of us. Standing here at the Plaza Hotel, watching families skate across the way and laugh in the December cold, watching people line up for Saks windows, watching strangers greet each other with warmth, we realize something profound here. The American dream isn't perfect, but it is alive because the people refuse to let it die. And that's the key. The Canadian dream, well, it's fading. We know this because our government refuses to let it thrive. Look at all these people. People can endure financial hardship. People can endure cold weather. That's where we're all out right now. People can endure long work weeks. People cannot endure hopelessness. Hope is what keeps everybody alive this holiday season. It's what keeps a nation alive. It's right now Americans having hope that keeps them going. But Canadians are being completely robbed of it by our government. If Canada wants to rebuild its dream, it doesn't need a new program. It doesn't need a new spending effort. It needs a new spirit, a return to confidence, a return to pride, a return to ambition. Because the saddest thing in the world is not a country that loses money, it's a country that loses belief. This holiday season, standing here in Central Park, the message is simple: America is still dreaming. Canada needs permission to dream again. And that's really unfortunate for each and every one of us. This has been Home Alone, Canada versus America, here in New York City, Central Park, skaters around. The dream doesn't have to stay south of the border, but it's up to us, all of us, everyone in Canada, to help revive it. We'll see you tomorrow.